1, 2. I can hear myself, so that's all good. And everything's good. Doc Ock is sitting beside me. Say hello, sir. That's a hello. So what's good? What's good? Golf claps all around. What's up, Doc Ock? How you been today?
Today I'm fine. Before today and the last couple of weeks, I've been nervous like a motherfucker.
Why's that?
Because I have testicles and it feels like there's a hunt for them.
But
that's just me, you know.
Yeah, somebody was mentioning that the other day.
I think you know what I'm talking about. Let's just say the last year has not been kind to the X chromosome.
Well, you're not.
Is that the X or the Y? Who gives a fuck?
You're not on any list, are you?
No, because I know when to shut the fuck up. So
there you go. What about coerciveness, sexual harassment, sexual?
Somebody please explain to me why this manhunt is going on.
Well,
what the fuck is happening out there?
Some of it is legitimate, but what I see on TV, this emasculation of man, like in commercials and everything else, that shit's not right.
What do you mean?
Well, just everybody looks like they're fucking neutered. Every man you see on TV looks like he's neutered.
Well, it's not just TV, people. I'm talking about like in the workplace. There's a lot of guys who they're checking themselves before they start wrecking themselves.
Yes, it's the sexual harassment that's come of age recently. The casting couch has definitely been set afire in Hollywood. Some of it is good, and then some of it you have to understand. There's a lot of people that are coming out of a different generation that are trying to do the right thing. But then there's other guys that are giving the rest of us a very bad name.
Is it, are we putting the onus on the guys now? Is that what we're doing?
I don't know.
Going there?
I don't know.
Give me a second, because you just got me tight now. I have to go get this thing right here.
Well, let me ask you a question. I mean, I know I don't have any skeletons in the closet in that world. I've always been relatively of a good boy,
Yeah, relatively. Well, it seems like it doesn't matter if you are... Okay. Can I just temporarily hit the reset button and say this? I love my sisters, and I've always been deeply respectful of them, and I go out of my way to protect them and serve them and do all the right things by them. And, I think I know how to treat a woman.
Oh, okay? I don't question that. My sense is like these guys that are within power that are basically forcing themselves onto women.
Yeah. Well, it's it. Okay. For those of you who misunderstand where I'm trying to get here, I feel like there's bad behavior on both sides. And this is what's going wrong right now.
Tell me.
I feel like we have, yes.
Testify.
There are men who are being brought up on allegations, which are probably true, in many cases definitely true, of sexual misconduct.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of people are using that as a way of gaining a leg up.
Sure.
Politically.
Sure. I see the agenda as well. I see it.
And what do you think? What's your perspective on this?
Well, when I see a guy like Brett Ratner who doesn't know how to button a collar, and the last meal he had is on his chest, and he doesn't shave, and 30 women come out to say he basically pressed up on me and he forced me into something I really didn't want to do because I was trying to be career-oriented and go along to get along. Mm-hmm. That's the shit I'm talking about. Now, it's always been in the music industry too. Straight or gay, there's always been people that have used their position and power to get their hands on the artist.
Mm-hmm.
Or get a good stab in, or get stabbed.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Have you ever encountered any of that in the...
Yeah.
I'm just gonna come out and say it because I don't feel too ashamed about it. But I didn't do anything, but I faced it in the music industry.
Well, you have to nip it in the bud immediately. You have to let them know that, no, that's
I-
not going to happen. I don't
Yeah.
go there.
I overreacted.
Yeah, but a lot of people can.
I'll tell you the story right now because the guy who did this is no longer with us.
Oh,
Not due to any thing I did. So yeah, I was in this band one time, and this dude, I went to take a drain the vein, and I really didn't know what his particular inclinations were. Right, I should have known, no, but I was young and kind of naive. So I go to the bathroom, and all of a sudden, I hear the stall open up, the stall door open up behind me, and dude is standing behind me. And you know, I come from, you know where I come from. Yeah, it's a good thing I didn't have any sharp objects on me.
yeah, yeah.
Because I've considered ending that scenario right there. But discretion was that I just said, okay, let me just find out what the problem is here. So, of course, yes, I yelled at him, told him, get the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what else are you supposed to do in that situation? You could get a little bit more upset and then wind up hitting somebody, and then now you're the bad guy.
Yeah.
Because you're like intolerant to whatever that person is.
Well, you know, the thing of it, he's not the kind of person that you want to punch out anyway, because he's actually kind of a nice person
and
in some ways. But he started feeling himself, so dude tried to roll up behind me. And what I've later on found out was that I was not the only person
I'm sure.
to
I'm
whom
sure.
that was done. And, you know, the drummer in the band then told me, oh, you didn't know? He's floating on this direction. So afterwards, you know, despite the fact that I was this Harlem boy who was kind of like, you know, I'm not down with that. And I don't, you know, this was the 90s. So it was a very low tolerance for that shit back then. But, you know, we had to talk, and I was like, yo, you know, I don't roll like that. And if that's your business, that's your business. Just keep it the fuck out of my way.
As long as he didn't kind of like force the envelope in the sense of saying like, oh, well, you know, if you want a deal or you want this, it's got to be like that.
Now, I made it abundantly clear that I will cut you if you ever try that again.
Now, in the restaurant business, in the club business, and in the record business, I experienced all three, both from gay men and from women, older women. You know, so I had to learn how to nip it in the bud immediately and make my point very clear, but also still get along with these people because not only were they jobs, but I was also in a position, you know, with say a record agreement that I had to kind of like make believe it never happened and just moved along.
Right.
Now, you know, there wasn't any suggestive perversities. I was never cornered and have some guy in a bathrobe with his shit hanging out trying to get at me. No, I never had that type of stuff, luckily. But, you know, when people are really pressing up like that...
You don't know what you're missing until you've seen me in a bathrobe, honey. Oh.
But, you know, I'm trying to see the validness of yes, it's time to change this shit, both in the political field, Hollywood, and the entertainment and recording industry, as well as in the workplace. I mean, you know, for the last 25, 30 years, yes, sexual harassment has been a part of the picture, but obviously not enough is being done. So that's why it's becoming much more of what it is. And it's ironic that it's always these ugly guys that are the ones that are using their power to get over and get women simply out of their league.
Yeah, I've been going back and forth with this female friend of mine. I sent her a picture of Alexander Skarsgård, who she's in love with. And I was like, you will never, as long as you live, ever see anybody accuse this man of any kind of harassment. And she agreed.
Yeah.
You know, and she actually, despite all this nonsense, she actually agreed that it just seems a little odd that everybody's coming out of the woodwork at the same time.
Well, all of the people that are involved with it are media whores on some level. So
I don't know about that.
I think a lot of them are, when you're talking about people using it when it's not valid, like, say, you were mentioning before, like a woman who's going to light up someone's reputation when the guy didn't even do anything. You know?
Yeah.
So those people, a lot of them are just straight up media whores.
That also happened
and
to
they're
me.
getting attention.
That also happened to me once. That also about 15 years ago. I didn't even, straight up, dude. I can honestly tell you, somebody I never even like hit on, tried to get me fired.
Mm.
And it was a clear case, and she fought it tooth and nail, and I fought it back. And I was like, see, you got nothing to stand on. I didn't actually do what you're accusing me. You just infer
That it happened.
from my tone
And you're trying
that I
to...
was hitting on you. And she took it to the, she took it there. She wrote a report up on me, at my job, tried to get me fired. This is not a new thing.
That's not a new thing, no. And the same thing with these coercive sexual predatory situations is it's come to the surface because it's happening still and people are saying enough.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the crazies will come out of the woodwork even more.
But
not all the witches are witches that you burned back in the day.
In some cases, it's valid. Some cases, you got your Cosbys.
Yeah.
You got your Cosbys, okay? Can we all just agree that he did it? I mean...
Let's just say Bill Cosby loves pudding.
Yeah, okay. So he's there's too many, where there's smoke, there's fire, and this is a raging motherfucker. And but there's a lot of shit coming out of the woodwork now. It just seems like you didn't have anything to say
for 30 years.
Yeah, what's that all about?
Or some 15 to 20.
And I'm not trying to defend guys who do anything. I'm not trying to defend bad behavior on anyone's part. But I'm just trying to say, can we just talk for real? Can we just keep it 100 right now?
Well, they should have stepped up because, yes, it does put a blemish on the whole situation. Why are you stepping forward now?
Dude.
But I can say why, because a lot of these people may have tried and they weren't taken seriously.
Let me get this.
And that's why it's not coming out to this incident.
Let me whip this out right off the presses, because this has been a constant, I'm checking my phone now. This morning, Def Jam co-founder Russell Simmons is alleged to have forced a 17-year-old woman to have sexual intercourse.
What?
It's today.
Not surprised.
3:28.
Not surprised whether it's true. I'm not surprised whether it's false.
Some of it's entertaining, like this Sylvester Stallone. I don't know if y'all heard the Sylvester Stallone rumors that were going around 10 years ago. No? All right, so you don't know what a Cleveland steamer is. Okay, we'll talk about that in a... I don't want to get brought up on charges.
These are my turtles, Cuff and Link.
Let's just say there was this rumor, and I'm making air quotes, that he liked to position himself under a glass table while certain women relieve themselves on the glass table. It's disgusting, but it's also fucking entertaining. So I'm.
Oh, Rocky, I love you. I love you.
Let's see, Danny Masterson, alleged victim. This
and
Scientologist.
Scientologist.
So I'm gonna shut the fuck up. I ain't fucking with them dudes. No. Backing off.
Devil.
Al Franken.
A guy that helps introduce a rape bill, also having allegations.
Oh my God! Even Kermit the Frog said Jim Henson put his entire arm up my ass.
Yeah, I announced that last week.
I mean, it's just nonstop. It doesn't stop. Let's see. I don't even know who this guy is. Andrew Kreisberg.
You know how this can start to stop? Is by everybody taking the step back. Everybody. It's a new day and age.
Right.
Respect is supposed to be an equal thing. It's not one having power over the submitted. And that's pretty much the most simple way I could explain it.
Yeah.
Because it all is very, very, very complicated and very complex, whether it's heterosexual or gay. You know what I mean? And then, because the transgender community is being recognized more than ever too, they have their own issues that come to the table. So how do we all get along without making anybody be in some sort of uncomfortable scenario?
Well, I don't think we're going in the right direction because there's some shit going on.
Line with porn right there that's making everybody want to experiment and be more crazy too.
This business of pronoun redefinition. Are you familiar with this? Like people saying my pronouns are zer, zim, and z, and people like you can't use him and her anymore. Are you familiar with that?
No, and I'm sorry. Maybe that's how it sounds becoming
ridiculous.
In another world. But I'm just a regular, New York City boy, and I am a man, and well, that's all there is to it.
Let me educate you then,
please.
So in some colleges, professors and what have you are getting in trouble for not using the proper pronoun for people who consider themselves non-binary. So there are people who refuse to answer to the him and her pronoun. So they're air picking these pronouns out of the ether and saying, I'm Zer, Zim, Z, whatever. Fuck. And
well, you see, that does confuse me because, say you have a friend, and I've had friends that are transvestites. I got a story, but I've got many stories. But anyway, here's this one transvestite, so what would you do
By the way, I don't think you can even say transvestite anymore.
I know that, but anyway, a cross-dresser friend of mine
you can say cross-dresser
who
anymore.
Liked to dress up.
You can't say cross-dresser anymore.
I had a friend.
You can't say friend anymore. You can't say friend anymore.
I know.
That's assuming something.
All right.
You're assuming too much.
All right, and just give me a second.
You can only say person who is non-binary.
I know somebody who was a dude promoter that liked to dress up in like your auntie's clothes. Okay.
All right.
Now, would you call that person Miss Such and Such when they're in character?
I would approach the person and say, "What pronoun do you prefer that I use, and how would you choose that I address you?"
And I guess I got a long way to go.
Mimzer or whatever.
You know what I mean? It's funny. This happened in the 90s with a friend of mine who was experimenting with this, and we're out doing, we're up to no good one night partying. So, we're going off and we wind up getting pulled over. So here I am pulled over with this dude dressed up like my Aunt Minnie. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I met the guy originally because he used to promote shows up in Vermont.
Okay.
And used to be with another band that I used to know. You know what I mean? But now, he comes into town dressed like this, and I'm being nice, and I'm still hanging out with him, and now I'm in this situation where we're getting pulled over, and this guy's dressed up like my Aunt Minnie. Not dressed up like he's going out to a dance club, as Miss Spears.
Yeah.
Dressed up like my Aunt Minnie.
Well, I think that, number one, that reminds me of these old movies where you'd see these guys in England, like football players who would dress up.
Yeah, because he was so asexual. I mean, he was dressed up like an old lady. Yeah. He wasn't dressed up trying to dress hot or attractive.
Yeah, you see these guys who could probably fuck you up in a fist fight, and yet they prefer to be, transgender or whatever you call it. And I really don't see I was trying to sidestep this and be gentle, but I don't think I'm in the proper venue for being gentle. So
not here.
All right.
Not
so
here. If
I think we can all agree.
We're balanced, but we're not going to make everybody happy. So just go with it.
I think we can all agree. At least if I'm speaking from my own point of view, I firmly believe in the idea of leaving everybody the fuck alone to do what they want to do.
True.
Which is a very liberal thing to say, but that's always how I've been. I'm not a liberal. I'm not a conservative either. Okay. But I think that you should just let people do their thing. but that goes both ways.
Exactly. I'm willing to let you be whoever you want to be as long as you're not putting an uncomfortable situation
Yeah.
into the picture. And that's when you're starting to cross that space.
Yeah, I feel like there's this aggressive redefinition of the language right now, and it's very aggressive, and it's becoming legal now. People are getting sued for language. People are losing jobs for misusing pronouns. Okay, words have way too much fucking power.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying.
And everything is being called an abusive term. And it feels to me like there's a social engineering happening right now. Whether it's good or bad, I don't know. But it's a social engineering that's pushing our society towards a sort of pro-feminist state.
Hence the feeling we've been saying today, how it looks like man on TV has been completely emasculated, almost to the point of true neutering.
Well, you're allowed to be Peter Griffin as long as you're an idiot.
Nah.
All right. As long as Al Bundy's a moron, it's fine.
Yeah. He could go to Hooters, but we can't talk about it amongst certain people, or they think we're being too chauvinistic.
You can be an intelligent guy also, as long as you are non-physical. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, as long as you're not pressing up and you're invading somebody's space and being suggestive to some sort of sexual act or perversity.
Yeah. I think that the danger here, I didn't expect us to get so serious so fast. But
we needed that, I think, a little bit with all the other subjects that we've tried to start covering.
Yeah, we fucked around a lot.
And the reason I'm bringing this is because we're hearing it in mainstream entertainment and politics, but we've not really heard that much coming out of the music industry, except what you just said about Russell Simmons. And the only other episode I've heard of out of the industry recently, and let's not forget a band like Two Live Crew, but X-Clan members that are now dead are being accused of doing underage girls, either one or plural, over a period of time, like using their interns as, toy dolls, if you will. But when is this going to start really coming out more from the music industry? Because there's got to be some stuff there.
Well, I feel like I think we had this discussion at one point in the previous podcast. Where's the age line?
Yep.
Right?
Like, as they say with the Harvey Weinstein thing, it's only the tip of the schmeckle. So I meant Iceberg.
Weinstein.
You know what I mean? Like, because this is where it's all come. Once the Weinstein shit hit, then it's Kevin Spacey. Corey Feldman finally is growing the balls, but he wants $10 million so he could get a bodyguard and make a movie about his abuse and Corey Haim's abuse. And the abusers' names have just been dropped. And then you have other people talking about Ratner and another director, and even Dustin Hoffman. Clinton's stuff from the 90s and 80s is being resurfaced.
Right.
So,
Well, I mean, my question here is, there are a lot of people
that are giving us men a bad motherfucking name.
Yeah, and there are a lot of people who are legitimately victims of sexual misconduct, shall we say?
Yes.
I think there are also people who have experienced very mild versions of sexual misconduct that they deflected quite easily.
Sure. Well, when you're powerful as a Weinstein, how do you go against somebody who's worth so much money? He could get a legal team and bury you in the ground unless you have irrefutable proof.
Oh yeah. Well, no, he needs to go because he needs to be put in jail.
You know, it's like your fear of trying to step up against, say, Scientology and having an opinion. They're known for their fair game tactics, so that's
afraid of
something
them.
you're afraid of.
I'm afraid of them.
Now, one day I intend to get into that one day too. So stay
Scientology?
tuned. Oh yeah.
Oh, really? Let me know. Let me know which day
yeah.
that is, so I can stay home.
Well, that's why I just said it. That's why I just said
I
it.
know too much, bro.
In the meantime, I want everybody to start researching what's been going on with Scientology, not just Leah Remini. You know what I mean? Really go check that out. So by the time I get there, you'll all be on point and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
I think there's a documentary or two on Netflix.
Yeah, there's a handful of them. And Leah Remini is definitely the most outspoken one. And what they did to her pissed off such a strong woman who's capable of being a true bitch. And I'm not saying anything fucked up. She knows it.
She would agree with that statement.
And that's why she's on the forefront right now with Marty Rathbun and Mike Rinder really informing the world right now.
You go, girl. You do you.
Rhea Lemony.
I got your back, boo. Anyway, so I feel like grabbing this old thing over here and maybe playing a little something, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're doing there. You're trying to fool me, baby, take my advice. Opportunity never dies twice. You're trying to fool me, baby, don't get it right. 'Cause when I get to you there, cause I'll be creeping. We'll be right back. This is the Eddie Leeway podcast show.